the most literaturally highly qualified person can also make errors, slips. It's natural. So you should enjoy. If at all we commit a mistake, let's enjoy. Let's not make fun of somebody who makes a mistake, because we are all prone to make mistakes, and let's enjoy our mistakes. That's the first method to improve our presentation skills. Now, right now, my urge is that we all will assume a spirit of learning. We turn back to our studenthood days and be open. Let's proceed. And I need this to be a very interactive session. Please ponder. Whenever a question is put, you ponder in your mind about, you think about in your mind, give the answer to yourself. And those who feel like openly coming up, raise your hands and come up. If you have a question, you can stop me anytime in between. So enjoy our mistakes and don't blush and ignore others' mistakes. We have not seen, we have not heard, we have not known what mistake the other person has done. So save him, protect him, insulate him from all kinds of blushes. Human mind is very much similar to an umbrella. Can anybody say why? Human mind is very similar to an umbrella.
It covers many things.
The answer is very...
It can
yeah,
unfold.
that's a very good
It can unfold. It can unfold.
That's also a very good dimension. It's also a very good thought dimension. Appreciated. Any more? This
it's
way
not useful unless it can be opened.
That is it. Both are useless unless opened. Human mind and umbrella. You need to open your mind just as you open your umbrella. Are you ready to open your mind before us now? Please, let us grant. Now, grammar is a forbidding word. Nobody likes to learn grammar, correct? But now let us take it as, let's befriend this difficult person and then go along with him a small way. Let me share the screen now. Are you able to see this? Do you see this?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet.
No? Not yet?
No, not
No.
yet, sir.
Okay, let me check it. Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
How about now?
It's coming up now. It's coming up now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's possible now.
Put it on presentation mode, sir.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah,
Yep.
fine. Fine.
So we have named it grammarly and figuratively. The two things that we will cover for a short while, we'll see a little bit of grammar, and for the remaining part, we will talk about the beautification of the language, how we enrich our language. Grammarly. A simple question. What part of speech is grammarly? Anybody? Is it a noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection? Which one is it?
Adjective.
It can
No.
be in what way it is used.
Yeah, you use it in your mind and then say that. Okay, I'll give you the example. I speak grammarly.
There it is.
Adverb.
Yes, sir.
Adverb.
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 It is adverb because the ly is there. It
can
modifies
be
the verb. Good.
Noun also, sir. For example,
It can be. In this context, I have used it as a noun.
okay.
This
Grammarly,
particular grammarly is used as an adjectival noun. That's usually possible. It's very interesting also. Now, let us see how good we are in English. There are certain sentences in the left side of the column under errors. And can you all suggest one by one the corrections? The first sentence is, according to me, she should have resigned earlier. This sentence is not wrong as such, but it can be improved a little bit. Enriched language.
in
Pardon?
my opinion, she should have resigned earlier.
Exactly. In my opinion, she should have resigned earlier. Second one. No, the second one. She smiled friendly.
In a friendly manner.
In a friendly manner.
Exactly. She smiled in a friendly way. His father died 3 years before.
3 years ago.
Ago.
3 years, correct. See, that's beautiful English. See, so the rest of you are able to understand what difference it makes, how we talk, the shortfalls in our.
Tharakan sir, we need to mute the English teachers now and give others a chance.
Okay, we voluntarily mute ourselves. Fine.
No, proceed. That is why I told you in a sequel order, sequentially they should answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't matter. Okay. Correct the next sentence. All the light was out.
Switched off. All the lights.
All the lights were out.
Correct. All the lights were up. All is a
Were up.
plural, so light should be plural. All the lights. So enjoy your mistakes. If you are not able to find it out later on. So all the lights were out. He did it anyhow.
He did it
Simple
Anyway.
sentences. I'm putting.
Anyway.
No, it is anyhow. It's the
Either
same
way.
as anyway.
Either
Way, no, it's only 2 ways.
did it somehow.
This is a common
Even so.
mistake that we. No, the simple thing I give you the answer. He managed to do it somehow, not anyhow.
Somehow, yes.
Today. The next one. He may not come, but somehow I shall.
I will. I will.
I will.
No.
No.
He may not arrive.
I and we should be always followed by shall. I shall, we shall. The rest of the things is will. He may not come, but somehow I shall.
I cannot.
Somehow I shall come.
I shall manage to come.
Very good. All of you are making good efforts. I love it. This is the response I want. No, the correct thing is somehow is a wrong word there.
Yeah.
He may,
I shall.
he may not come,
Anyhow, I
but
shall.
anyhow, I
I
shall come. Anyhow, it's not somehow. It's anyhow.
Sir, I have a doubt here. With I and we, usually we say shall, but there are many instances that is in a grammar way we say that, but in many instances when I want to say the determination,
Okay, I will explain. I shall explain. In the normal, ordinary, functional way, I and we should be followed by shall. But when you definite about something, it will change. When you say I will means I shall definitely do. This is the connotation. Will is not used. And in law, the word will and shall makes a lot of difference in our legal nomenclature. If the word shall is not put in particular places, it will not apply to the person, to the other person. It's a legal interpretation. Lawyers will know. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I shall, we shall. He will, they will.
They will.
Next sentence is, he asked me alone.
For alone.
For alone.
For
Exactly. He asked me for alone. A preposition is needed there. I must revenge my father.
I must avenge my
Avenge.
father.
That's
Avenge.
correct. It's not revenging. I'm challenging. I must avenge my father. Good. I am glad for tomorrow is a holiday.
That tomorrow.
I'm glad that tomorrow is a holiday.
Sir, I have a question there, sir. For is a coordinating conjunction, so it has the meaning of because. So are you looking for the
Correct.
comma?
Exactly. You said it. The correct
Yeah.
English modality is I am glad because tomorrow is.
Yeah.
That is a modern style. You can use, these are not rules of the thumb. You can always change it according to the situations. I just showed it to you only for, only to remind you that we all make common mistakes. Am I right?
yes, yes, sir.
Are you with me?
We are getting some disturbance.
That's why I'm stopping. Some others have to mute. Okay. Now
Go ahead, sir,
start.
go ahead,
Now
sir.
we
I have muted.
this introduction. We'll start with the grammarly part of it. Now I'm going to give you a sentence. You should tell me where the exact mistake is. Much water had flowed under the bridge. Normally writers, storytellers and novelists, they all, in order to make a sense, a lot of time has passed, they say a lot of water had flown under the bridge. What is the mistake there? Anybody? Much water had flown under the bridge. There are only 7 small words, including the. When you know the mistake, you will laugh at yourself, ourselves.
much of
Go-
water.
Water.
Most of
Good, good, good. Not yet.
Should it be
Good attempt.
gone,
flown,
gone,
flown.
fly,
Tell-
flew, flown? Sir, water can't fly, right?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is it. See,
Yeah, water can't fly.
Flow.
what should you say? Much
Uh,
water.
flowed.
Flowed, that is the verb. You see?
Yeah.
What was the mistake that we made here? Fly. Water is
Fly,
not
flew,
flying.
flown.
Fly,
Fly,
flew,
flew,
flown.
flow.
Flown.
And flow,
Oh, flowed,
Flow.
flowed.
Flown. Flown.
flowed,
No,
flowed.
flowed.
See how interesting that language mistakes that we make occasionally. So this takes us to the most important part of the grammar today: present, past, and past participle. Present actually means, simple present. Past is simple past, and past participle comes whenever we have a perfect tense: has, have, or had. When any verb is preceded by a has, have, or had, it becomes a perfect tense. In a perfect tense, you have to use the past participle of the verb. You're talking about the verb present, past, and past participle. Very simple, nothing serious. You all know it, but sometimes we make a mistake. Now, verbs are classified as regular and irregular types. Irregular, regular, and irregular verbs. Let's go through this. The first one is a regular verb. I'm telling you, walk. What is the past tense?
Walked.
Walked. Past participle.
Walked.
This is a regular verb. Means regular verbs form their past and past participle by adding ed to the word. Am I right?
Yes.
Another example is laugh.
Laughed.
Laugh.
Laughed.
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 This is again a regular word.
Regular.
Now let's come to the irregular verbs. The first one is bet. Past tense?
Bet, bet.
Bet means there is
Bet.
no change. That is irregular one. There are three types of irregular verbs. This is the first one where there is no change. Bet, bet, bet. Next one, a similar one is put.
Put.
I put. I put. The past tense. I have put. Now this is irregular one. Now irregular two. Sit.
Sat.
That changes. See, it changes. Past participle.
Sit.
I have sat, sir. Sat. I have sat.
Sat. So this is irregular two, where two are similar, one is different.
Different. Okay.
Okay, irregular two. Next one is similar. Another example: get.
Got.
Gotten.
But now these days we don't use gotten. It's archaic English. We said I have got it. We don't say I have gotten it. Correct? Gotten is useful, but it is used as an adjective sometimes. We'll see it. So this is irregular number two. And irregular three, all of you know, all the three forms are different. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. For example, first example is bite.
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 Bit.
Bitten.
Bitten.
It's better. It's a regular three. One more example.
Begin.
Begin.
Began.
Began. Begun.
Began.
Began. Begun. Begun.
Begun. All the three are different. So what are the types of regular and irregular verbs? Just rush through. Regular is...
Tharakan sir, one doubt, Tharakan sir.
Sure.
Where does this fit in? Come, came, come. Come.
The
Again,
two
the
are
past.
same. Yeah, it is the two are the same. One is different, so it's irregular two. Good, you asked the
Because
question.
the present and the past participle are the same, but the
Are the
past
same.
is different.
Yeah, past is different.
All right, fine. Thank
See,
you.
this way, when you get to know the structural importance, relevance of the words, then you have better confidence to talk. You speak with authority. That is the difference when you learn grammar. Isn't it interesting? It's not so boring as you think it is. Correct?
It's like math.
Now, I'm going to let us take turns now. One by one, Everybody on the screen answer each one. Say the past and past participle forms and say what kind of verb it is. And you should say what kind of verb.
Some noise
Somebody say-
disturbance, sir.
Some noise. Alicia? Somebody is on. Okay. So you should say the past tense in the past participle and also say what kind of verb it is, whether it is regular or irregular 1, 2, or 3. Okay? Everybody take the test. It's interesting. Now, does. Does. What is the past tense? First one.
Did, done.
Did.
Who does?
Just, did, done.
Good. Have.
Have, has,
Has had,
Good.
have been,
had.
has been.
huh?
Come,
No,
came,
have.
Come, came, come.
Have, had. I have come.
had. Yeah.
I have a pen. I had a pen. I had a pen. So have had. I have had a pen. Okay. Come. Just now, Matthew Jacob said, come.
Came,
Come.
come.
Which form is it?
Regular 2.
Irregular.
Regular.
Next one is cut.
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 Which form?
1.
Irregular 1.
Regular.
Burst. Cracker. Burst. Balloon. Burst.
Burst.
And both.
Burst. So it is. It is
Irregular 1.
Irregular
irregular
1.
1. Now wind. You wind a clock. Wind a motor.
Wound.
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 Second.
Irregular.
Irregular 2. Now this is wound, making a wound, a cut, laceration.
Wounded.
Wounded.
Wounded. What is it? What form?
Irregular 2.
Second one.
No,
Irregular 2.
irregular. No, it is
Regular 2.
regular word. Wounded. It is regular.
Regular.
Wounded soldier.
Not irregular. It's a regular word. Just a second. Reboon. Not audible. I'm receiving some complaints from abroad. They are not able to listen.
But have they joined in, sir?
No, they are not able to join. They don't see it. Nikhil or Safir, if you can assist, please.
Okay.
Now, feel. Let's continue. Feel.
Felt.
Kind. Kind of the word.
Irregular 2.
Irregular too. Okay. This will let us refresh our expertise and our brain also. Come back to. Okay. Feel, felt. Irregular 2. Run.
Ran.
Ran.
Irregular 1.
Good.
Irregular 2. Blue,
Blow.
blow, blonde. Blue, blonde. Blonde. Irregular 3rd.
Irregular 3. Lead a procession. A leader. Lead.
Led. Irregular 2.
Second.
Good. Think.
Thought. Irregular 2.
About think, there is a very interesting joke by our Sardarji. You know, he attended an examination and came out of the examination hall, and his friend asked, how was the examination? Oh, it was very difficult. They asked me the past tense of the word think. And then, oh, I thought, but I did not get it. Finally, I wrote thunk. What Sardarji said. I thought, but I didn't get it. Finally, I wrote thunk. So this verb think always makes me think a lot about Sardarji's. Now, anybody, shrink.
Shrunken.
Shrunk. Irregular 2.
So shrunken.
Yeah, shrunk. Now, rent. You rent out a house.
Oh, that
Rented.
rented.
Rented. So it is?
Irregular 2.
regular word. This one, R-E-N-D, rend, means cut or break. What's the past tense?
Rented.
R-E-N-T.
R-E-N-D, yes. Rented.
No. No.
Okay.
R-E-N-T.
Exactly.
Rented.
The D turns out to be T. Rent becomes rent.
Yes.
But the past tense there can be the present tense with a different meaning, renting out.
Yes.
You need to make the difference.
Renting.
Again, send is the same way. Past tense is sent. But I find a lot of letters in which people make continuous. I have sent. They write sent.
Yes.
D. It should be sent. A lot of mistakes. Even hierarchies. Top people in the top make this mistake. They don't make corrections. Send is sent and sent.
Sent.
Similarly, bend.
Bend. T.
T.
T-N-T.
Both. So it is irregular too. Smell.
Melt.
Melt.
Melt. Smell.
This is where English is an incongruous language. It doesn't support any rationale. Smell, past tense is smelled, ed, and past participle is smelt. Smell, smelt, which is regular 3. Now read.
Red.
Red.
Same spelling. Same spelling, sir.
ആർക്കും കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല.
Tharakan sir.
Yeah.
Okay, can you forward the latest message to these people, the people who are saying that they are not able to log in? If you send me one of their IDs, maybe I can call them and guide them.
It's not possible. No, I will waste
Okay,
all my
okay.
time. Amma,
Okay, no problem.
1 second. Amma. ആ വിളിക്കുന്നവരോട് എന്റെ ആ ഇൻഡിക്കേഷൻ ഒന്നുകൂടെ അയച്ചു കൊടുക്കുക. പാസ്വേഡ്
പഴയ ഐഡിയ
ഒന്നുകൂടെ അയച്ചു കൊടുക്കുക. അപ്പൊ രണ്ടാമത് ട്രൈ ചെയ്തിട്ട് അല്ല ഒന്നുകൂടെ താൻ അയച്ചു കൊടുക്കുക. എന്നിട്ട് അതിൽ നിന്ന് so sorry, read, red. Spelling is the same. There is no RED. You understand, but only the pronunciation, the change is there. Read, red. What form is it?
Second. No.
Irregular 2.
Irregular
1. Both all the spelling.
One. Yeah.
Only the pronunciation is different. Form is red. Good. This is a sewing machine. You are stitching.
So.
But it is pronounced as so, not so. So.
No.
S-E-W-N.
S-E-W-E-D.
Sewed.
Yes.
It's a regular word. Next one, see.
S-A-W-S-E-E-N.
Yeah, so see, saw, seen, which is a regular 3, correct? Now, sowing the seeds and the seed.
Sown. S-O-W-N.
Sowed, sown. It is sown. See, this is one case where ED takes a different past participle form. Usually in regular forms, ED is both past and participle are. Now, anybody swim?
Swam.
Type.
Swam. So irregular 3.
Swing.
Swam.
That's where we make mistakes. Swing, swung. There is no swang.
Swing. Okay. Swing.
like sing. Sing is sang, sung. But swing is swing, swung. These are minor areas where we happen to oversee our errors. Heard.
Hurt.
Same.
So it's irregular one. Just 1 second. Amma. ഷാജിയുടെ മക്കളോട് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വരാൻ പറ അവർക്ക് ഇവിടെ അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്യാം. Anybody for strike?
Strike, struck.
Strike.
Stricken.
Struck, stricken.
Stricken. That's it. Strike.
Yes.
Struck, stricken.
Strike
Stricken is
and
also-
strucken. Stricken.
Good. Strike, struck, stricken.
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Modern English also takes struck as a past participle. So I have struck, sometimes they say. It is also admitted these days. But British English says it is struck, stricken, struck, strike, struck, stricken. S-T-R-I-C-K-E-N. C comes in between. Am I clear? We will now that we have said all this, we will come back once more in this before we close, so we'll be thorough what we have been discussing. Now there are certain special verbs having different meanings and different regular forms. Say for example, lie, telling a lie. What is the past tense?
Lied.
Lied.
Yeah, confusion starts coming here. What is the past tense? Lie.
Lied.
Light.
Yes.
Next one is again the same word, but a different meaning. Lie. Lying on a couch, on a bed.
Laid.
Lay.
Laid.
Lie, laid. Lane, correct. Lie, lay, lane. See, this is the difference. So the word makes a lot of difference when you don't use the correct form of the verb. Am I right?
Yes.
So don't make that mistake. Just put it in your mind. Lie, lay, lane. And now this lay, the central, the past form of lie, lay, becomes a present tense with a different meaning. It's lay.
Lay eggs.
And laying eggs.
Laid. L-A-I-D.
ID.
And L-A-I-D.
Laid.
Yes, laid.
Yeah.
Laid. Good. Matthew Jacob, our teachers are well versed. Huh? Now, what about hang? You hang a picture on the wall. What is the past tense?
Hang is this? Oh, okay. Okay. Hung.
Hung. H-U-N-G.
Hung. Hung.
Alicia is the only one taking notes. Very good. This is why we advise that you should bring a note.
Here.
All are taking.
Yeah. Tharakan sir, I think you should ask the teachers to shut up for some time so that other poor people get a chance to say something.
Teachers.
Yes, zip, sir. Zip.
No, mute. No, zip. Mute the and keep quiet.
I really don't want to do it because their emotion comes up and unknowingly they shout. It's the thrust in. Now, hang is picture on the wall. What about hanging a person to death upon the judgment of a high court? Hang him till death.
Hanged.
And
Put this around your neck and hang, hanged, hung.
Hanged.
So what was the first one? Picture, hang, hung. Second one, hang, hanged. Now, what about fall? Simple word. Past tense?
Fallen.
Fallen. That is it. Fallen. I have fallen down.
Tharakan sir, Aisha is having a tough time controlling herself. I think you'll have an emotional breakdown if you don't let her speak.
I love it. Look at this.
Until and unless you can lip read, I am free to express myself on mute.
That's what I said. I said you can mute, but you can speak to yourself. The answer. Everyone should say the answer to himself. Then only you will learn. Can we proceed? Now this past tense here, F-E-L-L, fell. It becomes a present tense with a different meaning. What is that meaning?
Cut down a tree, or if, for
To
example.
fell a tree. To what is the past tense?
Felled.
Felled.
Good, Alicia. Very good. Fell and so it is a regular verb. Huh? Fall is irregular 3. Fell is regular. One more. Find.
Found.
Right? Which one
Found.
is it? No, which verb is it?
Irregular 2.
Yeah. Now this found again comes in the present tense with a different meaning. To found an empire. Akbar
Founded.
the Mughal-
Founded.
That is regular verb, correct? So this way we know what we are talking correctly. So that gives us all the confidence required to be very sure what we are talking, what we are speaking, what we are conveying. Founded. Now I have a question. Who wants to take it?
Aisha.
What is the present tense of waylaid?
Just a minute.
Aisha. Present tense of waylaid.
Waylaid. That is a bit confounding. It is waylaid. It's
Waylay.
Waylay, correct.
Waylay.
Nikhil said it. Very good, very good.
Yeah,
Nikhil. Waylay. Laid. So waylay.
Nikhil is celebrating.
Now, can we have a quick run of what we have done so far? Do you want a reversal or we can proceed? Your choice.
Tharakan sir, it would be ideal to have a quick summary because there are a few people who joined in the last few minutes. So maybe a 2 to 5 minute summary of whatever has happened so far will be great.
Okay, let's go from here. Much water had flowed under the bridge. The correct tense is? Much water had flowed under the bridge. See, you have forgotten it. We have just covered it. This is why I want to repeat it. So even if we don't cover too much, but whatever is covered becomes firm in our mind. So what water had flowed under the bridge. Now, next one is fly, flew, flown. Flow. Nobody is saying flow. Flowed. Yeah, we have regular verbs and irregular verbs. Present, past, and past participle. Walked. Regular. Laugh. Regular. Bet. Irregular one. Put. Irregular one. You should be the one to say, not me. In the serial order. Come on, somebody.
Okay, sir.
Irregular.
Go.
Irregular. 2. Irregular 3.
Bite, beaten. Regular 3. Begun.
Irregular 3. Fine, good. Say the past and past participle forms quickly, huh? As Samir said, very quick one.
Just.
Say everybody. Did?
Done.
Did.
Have. Quick. Have. Had.
Have. Come, came, come.
Good. Cut.
Cut.
Regular one.
Burst.
Regular one. Wind.
Wind.
Wound. And wound.
Wounded.
Wounded. Regular 3. That's regular. Feel. Felt. Regular. 2.
Ran.
Regular 2.
Blow.
Blown. Irregular 3.
Blow. Blew. Blown.
Irregular 3.
Yeah.
Lead.
Led.
Irregular 2. Swing.
Swan. Swan.
Swan. Good.
Swan.
Nigel caught it. Think.
Think.
Thought.
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 Regular 2. Also say that kind. So your brain will
Shrink.
shrink.
Shrink,
Shrink.
shrink.
Shrink. Regular 2. Now rent.
Renting the
Rent.
rented.
Yeah, rent means all these are all present tense. So rent means hiring, renting a house. Giving a house.
Rented. Rented.
Good. It's regular. Rent.
Rented.
Rent.
No. I said it is T.
Rent
The
with
D
a T.
came.
Rent.
The D turns to T. Okay. Again, send. Send. Yeah. Irregular 2. Again, irregular 2. Smell. Smell.
Irregular 3.
Irregular 3. Good.
Read.
Red. Irregular 2.
No.
1. Regular 1.
All spellings are the
Irregular
same.
1.
Spelling. Yeah, 1.
Now I'll tell you a joke about read now. Okay. After this. So.
Sword.
Not Sue. We don't pronounce it
So.
Sue. I think if Jose sir was there, he would have corrected it. This is pronounced as so.
Seen.
Regular 3. So, sowing a seed. Sowed and sown. Swim. Irregular. Swing.
Irregular 3.
2.
Yeah. Swing.
Swing.
I have swung. Swung. Heard. Irregular 1. Strike. Stricken. Stricken illa. Struck. Struck. Strike becomes struck. Struck. And then stricken. Stricken. So it's a regular 3. So we have had a quick rush about the whole thing. Now the special attention to the words lie. Telling a lie is lie. Lied. And then lie on a coach.
Lane.
Good. Laid. Hang. Picture on the wall.
Hung.
Good. Hung. And hang a person on the gallows. Hanged. He was hanged to death. Fall.
Fallen.
Irregular.
3.
Regular 3. Fell. Cut down a tree. Felled. Regular.
2.
No, it's regular. Felled. It's regular. Not irregular. It is a regular word. Find.
Found.
Founded.
Regular.
Now, what is the present tense of waylaid?
Waylay.
I think we have had a very refreshing session. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good. Some improvement somewhere.
Sir, one
Some
question.
exposure.
Waylaid.
Sure.
The waylaid is L-A-Y-E-D, right?
No. Waylaid is
Past tense,
L-I-D. Waylaid.
Past tense.
You.
Second form, sir. Past tense.
No,
Waylaid,
L-A-I-D. This is
is
past tense. This is past tense. Waylaid is past tense. That's why I asked for the present tense.
Is there a past participle for this, sir?
Yeah, lane.
Waylane.
See, it is the same word. Laid, lane.
Okay, one
The
sentence.
second one where you make an obstruction, a block.
Will you make a sentence, sir, with this?
The police waylays. The police waylaid. The police has waylaid the street. They blocked the street. Waylay. Come on, questions.
Yes.
Now, having learned this verbs, now we go to apply this verb. Are you interested?
Yes, definitely, sir. Yes, definitely, sir.
Okay. Let's see. This is one major area where we all make mistakes, including me. That's why I say we. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we start with the present tense and we end with the past tense or past participle. We start with the past tense, we go into the present tense. This is absolutely a terrible, horrible, heinous mistake in English grammar. The same tense form. If you start with the tense, present tense, you have to continue. And with the certain exceptions are there, but normally you should keep the sequence of tense. Can we take some example? The rule one is a past tense in the principal clause should be followed by a past tense in the subordinate clause. The main clause, where there are two verbs, in the main clause, that particular tense should be carried to the subordinate clauses. Are you with me? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
No,
No questions.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Can you?
Example, yeah, we are coming. I worked so hard that I might succeed. How many verbs are there?
2.
Which are there?
Work and succeed.
No, succeed is not a verb.
I might
succeed.
Might, yeah. So both are the same in the sequence?
Yes.
Same. Past tense.
So that is see, I work, that is a verb. So hard that I might succeed. Correct?
Yeah.
I'll give you one more example. Suddenly we noticed that the clock had stopped. Which are the verbs?
Noticed and then stopped.
Noticed. The other verb?
Had stopped.
Had stopped. Can you tell me the main clause in the first sentence? I worked so hard that I might succeed. The main clause here is I worked so hard.
I worked so hard.
That I might succeed is subordinate clause. Can anybody say what kind of clause it is? That I might succeed.
Adverb clause. Adverb clause.
Adverb clause of?
Adverb clause of.
Adverb clause of result. Because so hard that I succeeded. The result comes from that so. So it's an adverb clause of result. I worked so hard that I might succeed. Suddenly we noticed. What did you notice? That the clock had stopped.
Noun clause.
Noun clause? How is it a noun clause? That the clock had stopped is a subordinate clause, which is a noun clause.
Yes.
It's object of the verb noticed. You noticed. What did you notice? The object. So the object is always a noun. So that the clock had stopped is a noun clause, object of the verb noticed. Doesn't matter. Just follow the sequence of tense. Questions?
We can add something. Like for example, suddenly we noticed. So if it can be replaced, that can be a noun clause.
This particular sentence only we refer to this, but you can change it anyway, depending upon the meaning. Now, correct these sentences of any era. Here, your critical analysis, critical observation should come into play. In the story, the king loses his kingdom, but he regained everything.
He regains.
Regains everything.
Regains.
Regain is not
INS.
correct. INS is singular. It's the singular form. So it should be he regains. Simple present, singular becomes he regains his kingdom. Very good. Very good. Well done, Jaikumar. Appreciate it. I find out that he
found out that he was guilty.
I told you should hold the verb form of the main clause.
Principal
and convert I find out that
he was guilty.
No,
I found out.
guilty.
He's guilty.
It's not I found.
He
I find
is
that he
I
is
find out that
guilty.
he is guilty.
He is guilty.
That he is a guilty.
He is guilty, not a guilty, he is guilty. Now, this kind of mistakes, we commit a lot of this type of mistakes in reported speech, in direct and indirect speeches. You always start with the past tense and ends with the present tense or whatever. So just look at it. He hinted, I want money. Who get the reported speech in the correct sequence of?
He hinted that he wanted money.
He hinted that
money. He wanted money.
he wanted money. So that I become he, want becomes wanted, money retained. Correct? Any questions?
No.
Another non-teacher answered this. She replied, I am coming.
She replied that she was coming. She replied that she was coming.
Actually, was coming. Very, very good. Excellent. She replied that she was coming.
So other than
He
teachers
said,
and J. Kumar.
my master is He said, my master is writing letters.
He said that my master was
His
writing
No, not
his
my
master.
master.
His master was
Yeah.
writing letters.
He's right.
Letters. Good. He said, I have passed the examination.
He said that he had passed the examination.
Good.
He
said
had
that
passed the
he
examination.
had passed the examination. Correct English. Some more. It's twisting. He said to me, I don't believe you.
He said to me that he doesn't
That
believe.
No, he doesn't is present tense.
He did not
He didn't
believe.
believe.
So
He
doesn't
didn't believe me.
He
He
didn't
didn't
believe
believe. Believe?
Me.
Me. And not us. See, that's a reported speech. See the beauty of the language. This kind of mistakes we commonly make, even in our speeches in the club also. I find a lot of errors coming up when you report things like this. The person changes. He said to me,
He told me.
I don't believe her. Translated, reported.
He said to me that he doesn't believe me.
He did
not
not.
doesn't.
He
Didn't
didn't.
believe her.
He
He didn't believe her.
Believe her. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. വേറൊരാളെ പറ്റി ഇവിടെ പറയുന്നത് നമ്മളെ പറ്റിയല്ല. So he didn't believe her. She said to him, I don't believe you.
She said to them that she didn't believe
He
him.
told him that he doesn't believe him.
He didn't believe him. She didn't believe him.
She didn't
She
believe
told
him.
him that she doesn't believe him.
No, not doesn't.
She didn't believe him.
She didn't believe him. Yeah, that's it. See the meaning going. I told him, I don't believe you.
I told him that
I didn't believe him.
Him, correct. See, beautiful. I said to you, I don't believe you.
I told
That I
you
didn't believe.
I didn't believe you.
I told you,
I told you that I didn't believe you.
that I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you. He said,
Said that
this is
he was
careful.
glad
I am glad to
there.
be here this evening.
That evening,
To be there.
Full, say
To
the
be
full
there.
sentence.
To be there.
he said that he was glad to be there that evening.
Good. He says, I am glad to be here this evening. He says,
He
He
says
says,
that he is glad. He says that he is glad to be here this evening.
He wants
Yeah,
to
so
be
here-
here.
Yeah.
so here does not change. In this
Yeah.
sentence, here does not change to there because that is the present tense. Present. Beautiful. Beautiful. There are 3 sentences, question and answer. Can anyone, one of them? Well, a teacher can take it better because it's a little bit tough. The traveler said to the peasant, can you tell me the way? Yes, said the peasant. Do you want one in which you can spend the night? No, said the traveler. I only want a meal. Who can report it?
The traveler, may I take it?
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah, the traveler said to the peasant whether he could tell him the way to the nearest inn.
Yeah, that said it should be asked or inquired.
Asked.
The
The traveler asked the
peasant.
peasant whether he could tell him the way to the nearest inn.
Yeah. To the closest inn. The nearest will become closest.
Yeah, closest. Sir, is it compulsory to change nearest to closest? Is that a
Listen. This is a time we are reporting it in a different place. After the incident, you come to a different place and say, you cannot say nearest, means the nearest to where they are standing. This is nearest to where they were standing.
Okay. Sir, please ask others to mute when there is a lot of noise disturbance in the background.
Yeah, this is.
Shall I say
Okay.
the next one?
Continue.
Saying yes. Yeah.
The peasant,
Go ahead, Asama.
the peasant replied in the affirmative.
Affirmative.
And asked if he wanted one in which spend the night.
In which
He could
spend.
he could
spend the night.
spend the night. Spend, the spelling is SPND or SPNT?
Could spend the D.
No.
D. D.
SPND.
D. D. D.
D. Could spend.
Could spend.
No, spend. D.
D.
D. It is D. Can, could
for Delhi.
spend. Yeah. It is present tense to be used with the auxiliary verbs. Can, might, may, all that auxiliary verbs should take always a present tense. So saying yes or answering in the affirmative, the person inquired if he wanted a room, a one in which he could spend that night. Now, continue. Isama, continue. No, said the traveler. I only want a meal.
Traveler replied in the negative said that, replied that he only wanted a meal.
He only
Wanted
a meal. I think we come to the end of the session now. Before we move to the figurative part of it. Any questions anywhere? This part was very simple. It was a kids game actually, but now we are moving into the thematic part of it, where we come into a little bit of thinking, a little bit of philosophy, how we can, this part, if you know the grammar correctly, there are lots more to learn. This is not the whole thing, it's not exhaustive as such, but if you know it little bit, learn it and build it up. So you're structurally, you are correct, you are all firm. So that gives you a lot of strength, face and confidence to speak English and write English. But now comes this area where we need to beautify our language. Figures of speech. How many of you know figures of speech?
I know.
Like what? Like what?
Simile, metaphor,
onomatopoeia,
personification,
personification,
hyperbole.
Pardon?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole, exaggeration. Yes, hyperbole.
Alliteration.
Alliteration, good.
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia, good. Well, we'll study three or four few interesting and important basic figures of speech, which will definitely affect your power of imagination. You see, you need to talk with power of imagination. That makes who is a writer, author, novelist, playwright. He is one who has an extraordinary power of imagination. He imagines the ordinary things in a different, extraordinary way. That makes the beauty. So in order to enrich your language and your communication, you cannot do that with the ordinary, usual, regular style of English. You need to speak out. So departure from the usual or ordinary form to produce greater effect. This is what figure of speech is. Are you with me? Now, you can say you should think out of the matchbox. Think out. The first figure of speech we learned today is simile. It is comparison between two objects of different kinds with some points of comparison. You with me? Any question? There are two different things, but you compare them, saying that there are some similarities. Most of the time we tell in our talks, in our discussions with people, some facts, but if you are able to compare it with a similar fact, then the whole thing becomes beautiful, lovely, interesting. Otherwise, it becomes an abstract talking. So it's an escape from the abstract. Example, I wandered lonely as a cloud. What are the two things here different but similar?
I and cloud.
I and cloud. The two are two different things. But here they say, I wandered like a cloud. What are the points of similarity? Jacob sir, can you say?
Wandering. Lonely. Wandering lonely.
No, points of
I'm
comparison.
wandering lonely.
As a cloud.
Lonely. Yeah, cloud is also lonely. Another point of comparison.
Wandering. I wander and the cloud also wanders.
I wander.
No. I have no particular aim. I'm floating anywhere I go, just like the cloud. It also goes. It doesn't have a particular target or. So these are points of comparison. You got me. This is how we sugarcoat our comments. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Actually, this is a piece taken from
Wordsworth.
Daffodil. Now tell me, where are the points here? Different, I think, compared how? The soul was like a star. Thy soul was like a star. Sound was like this.
There are two similes.
Yeah, good.
One compares soul with the star and the other one the sound like a sea.
The roar of the sea. Beautiful, no? See, how is that sentence becomes very interesting. The soul was like a star. The sound was like the sea. So your power of imagination should click such things. Oh, my loves.
Red
Like a red rose. Loves and it is a verb. Love is a personification. Ende priya, tama ennulla arthathilana. Ende priyankariyaya penkutti alle aankutti ennu. Oh, my love is like a red rose. My love like a red rose. What are the two different things compared here in simile?
My love and rose, red rose.
The person is compared to a red rose. The person is compared to a red rose.
Yes, my love. Life is tedious as a twice told tale.
Life and tail.
Life and a twice told tale.
Beautiful, beautiful. Both are boring. Now, this is a very, very interesting, intriguing example exercise that you can take. Now, release all your power of imagination and find out proper simile that is best fitting here. How can you say? As proud as a
Lion.
Lion.
Peacock.
Peacock. The usual one is
Peacock.
peacock.
Proud as a peacock.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You are so proud, like as if you are a peacock. I slept
Baby.
like a
Log.
Yes.
Baby.
Log.
Baby.
Log.
Log.
L-O-G.
beautiful. I slept like a log. It fits
Glove.
like
Glove.
good.
As
As bold as.
Sir, if it is as BALD, then we can say Matthew.
As bold as a tiger?
No.
As bold as a
Very interesting. Your power of imagination should go. Find out all those things.
It's a badger, maybe.
Huh?
A badger. Badgers are traditionally considered bold.
No, simple. As bold
as
brass.
As
cucumber.
Grass.
Fine.
Cucumber. Yeah, as cool as
language. The beauty of the English language is here. The classic language.
Sir,
As old
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in as bold as brass, in that what is the reference? Like the brass, is it referring to the real brass or the upper levels of rulers? The top brass.
No. Bold as a brass here actually means brass is considered to be the strongest of metals those days.
Okay. Fine.
So that is right. It's as bold. Good that question. Now, as old as the whoever
What is
answers.
what is the broken as cool as cucumber? As cool as ice?
Gold? No. Universe?
As old as time.
Universe?
Beautiful. Oh, good. Jacob, you do it beautifully. Come on, more dimensions. I want more dimensions. Then you know
as
how
old as time.
Universe?
As old as time. Universe. No. Bit more interesting. More appealing.
old as the oak tree.
No. If I tell you the answer, you will fall like water.
As Mammootty.
As old as honey. As old as the honey open.
Aged wine. Aged wine, sir. Aged wine.
Okay, I'll give you the answer. It's very sweet, lovely, as old as the hills.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you normally you come out with an explanation. This is how you have to enrich your thought in your talk. Now, blind
Bat.
like bat. Good.
Feather.
Light means
Feather,
weight.
feather,
Weight in
feather.
light as a feather.
Picture.
Anybody?
Pretty as a picture.
Pretty as a picture. It hurts like
Hell. Hell.
Hurts like the devil.
good. Feels like a devil.
Devil.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Ox.
Strong as an ox.
Ox.
Fights like
Warrior.
Al-Qaeda. Fights like
Tiger.
Very close.
Cats and dogs. Cats and dogs.
Good. Cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Petty quarrels.
Wow. Good.
It's like beautiful, no? The language, your communication becomes lovely when you attach
Diamond.
Star.
sparkles.
Diamond.
Diamond. Stars. Yeah.
This is fun.
Cheeks like
Apples.
Like apples. Cheeks like.
rose.
Cheeks like
Roses.
roses.
Soft petals. No, as flat as a
Iron.
Plank. Iron.
Fire.
Plank.
no,
Iron.
no, still
Blank?
better ones.
Lord.
Better ones. Better ones. Sweeter ones.
This is every Saturday.
Pancake. Pancake.
Good.
Flat as a pancake.
Oh my God, that was a wild.
Wow. Good one.
Good one. Now, eyes like
Stars.
Stars.
no, that's too normal, ordinary, common. Make a different one, more appealing one, more captivating one.
Oceans?
Like.
Very simple one. These are all simple words. No
Eyes like
mighty
a satellite.
jargons.
Satellite.
Satellite. Good, very good.
Hawk. It's like a hawk. Hawk.
It's like a
Hawk,
planet.
sir. Hawk.
No,
Eyes like a hawk. Hawk.
no, better
No.
one. Hawk is very interesting. It's a good thing, but more suiting one for the context,
Eyes
for general
like.
context.
Eyes like beads.
No, it's simply we can say eyes like glass.
Glass.
Lovely, it reflects, no?
Yes.
And sweet as
Honey.
Honey.
Sugar.
honey or sugar, whatever. Honey or sugar or whatever. Bright as the
Sun.
the
Stars.
sun or the sun.
Yeah.
And tough as
Steel.
Leather.
Nails.
leather or nails.
Tough
Nails is
tough
better.
nails.
You hit a nail on a log, it is very tough, right? So this is it about the simile. Now, one more example maybe I can give. One, can we just go to a little bit to Malayalam? Everybody follows Malayalam or somebody is against it?
No. Is there any non-Malayalis here?
ഈ സിമിലിയുടെ മലയാളത്തിൽ എന്താ പറയുന്നതെന്ന് അറിയോ?
ഉപമ.
Obama.
അപ്പം അതിന്റെ ലക്ഷണം എന്താ?
ഒന്നിനോടൊന്ന് സാദൃശ്യം ചൊന്നാൽ ഉപമയായിടും അന്നവേന്ദ്ര വിളങ്ങുന്നു ചന്ദ്രനെ പോലെ വിൺമുഖം.
അതെ. ഇന്ന് ബൈ ഹാർട്ട് പറയാമോ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും?
ഒന്നിനൊന്നോട് സാദൃശ്യം ചൊന്നാൽ ഉപമയായിടും അന്നവേന്ദ്ര തിളങ്ങുന്നു ചന്ദ്രനെ പോലെ നിൻമുഖം.
ഒന്നിനൊന്നോട് സാദൃശ്യം. പലരും പറയുന്ന
ഒന്നിനൊന്നോട് സാദൃശ്യം ചെന്നാൽ ഉപമയായിടും അന്നവേന്ദ്ര.
പലരും തെറ്റിച്ചാ പറയുന്നത്. ഒന്നിനൊന്നോട് സാദൃശ്യം എന്നാ പറയുന്നത്. ഒന്നിനൊന്നോടെന്നല്ല, ഒന്നിനോടൊന്ന് സാദൃശ്യം, ഒന്നിന് വേറൊന്നിനോട് സാദൃശ്യം, ഒന്നിനൊന്നോട് സാദൃശ്യം ചൊന്നാൽ ഉപമയാമത് മന്നവേന്ദ്ര വിളങ്ങുന്നു
ചന്ദ്രനെ പോലെ നിൽക്കാം. സിമിലിയുടെ ലക്ഷണമാണിത്. മലയാളത്തില് ഉപമ എന്ന് പറയും. Simile. Yeah, any questions?
Sir, what is the difference between ഒന്നിനോട് ഒന്നും ഒന്നിനൊന്നോടും?
മീനിങ് സെയിം ആണെങ്കിലും നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന സംഗതിയാണ് അതാണ് ഒന്ന്. ആ ഒന്ന് വേറെ ഒന്നിനോട്. മലയാളത്തിൽ അത് ഉപമാനവും ഉപമേയവുമാണ്. എന്തിനെ ഉപമിക്കുന്നു അത് ഉപമാനം, എന്തിനോട് ഉപമിക്കുന്നു അത് ഉപമേയം. പിന്നെ ഉപമാവാചകം പോലെ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ that's a difference. ഒന്നിന് വേറൊന്നിനോടൊന്നാണ്. You got the difference. Beautiful question. I wanted that question to come in. Lovely.
Smell. So.
Now, next one.
Burning smell.
We have time. How much time we have? How much time we have, Sophia?
15 minutes, sir. Sir, 15 minutes more. We have already 8:15.
But we started late, right? So
No, you can stay late. After 8:30, we can probably close the session and continue the discussion. I think formally we can end at 8:30. You can stay for as long as you want.
It's formally closed at 8:35.
Yeah. Then people can stay as long as they want.
Tharakan sir, how many minutes do you need?
I can stop and I have put it in such a way, because this is an interactive session. You cannot specify one person talking.
No, Safir, let us close formally at 8:30, 8:35, as you said, and then let continue. People continue who wants to stay.
Yeah. I have some more beautiful exercises if you are interested. That's all.
Yes.
The second figure of speech is metaphor. Metaphor is when simile says something is like another one, metaphor goes one step further and says it is the same. This one is not like the other one. It one is the same as that. For example, even being similar or look alike, both are as one. This is metaphor. You got the difference now? Difference between simile and metaphor. Did you?
Yeah.
Nobody is responding. I know.
Yes,
this
sir.
Is
Yes.
It's not like the grammar exercise.
You understood.
They flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. Again, William Wordsworth.
Daffodils.
Let me take an easier one. Yeah, he was a lion in the fight. Is he a lion? No, he's a man, but he is a lion. So that is a metaphor. He doesn't say that he fought like a lion. What does it say? He himself is a lion. So the figure of speech, alangaram, the figure of speech is metaphor. Are you ready? It's okay.
Tharakan sir, can I give an example?
This is it. He was like a, yeah. See,
no, I was saying Tharakan sir spoke like an expert. That's a simile. No, Tharakan sir is an expert. That is a metaphor. Is that correct?
Expert doesn't become a noun form there or an object. But is a quality. So, but if you personify it, it's fine. Fine.
Okay.
You can consider it as a personification.
Shakespeare.
The camel is the ship of the desert. Camel is not a ship, but you call it a ship of the desert. How will you say it in simile? Anybody?
Camel is like a ship.
Like the ship of the desert. Like a ship.
No.
the camel is like a ship.
Because in the desert there is no ship.
A camel in a desert is like a ship in the water. Ship in water.
Yes.
The camel
That's
is like.
That's it. Just as a ship.
That is it.
No, in simile it comes like this. Just like a ship is in the ocean, the camel is in the desert. That is a simile. Just as a ship is in the ocean, so is a camel in the desert. So all that long sentence, if you convert it into a metaphor, it becomes so small, compressed. The camel is the ship of the desert. Isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
Lovely?
Yes.
No, nobody is saying yes. Nobody is saying
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The minute you feel boring, please raise your hand. I will stop it immediately.
No, sir. No, sir. Not in my dreams.
Life is a dream. Is life a dream? No. It doesn't say life is like a dream.
For some.
Yes, life is a dream.
Now, the news was dagger to his heart. See, dagger to his heart. It doesn't say it was like a dagger. It says it was a dagger. Metaphor. Revenge is a kind of wild justice. Again, metaphor. Am I right? Have you understood the difference between simile and metaphor?
Yes.
So convert the following simile into metaphor. Good exercise. As spice flavors food, so variety makes life more pleasant. What is the
Variety
matter?
is spice.
The answer already came.
Variety
It's,
is the
it's
spice of
already
food.
there. Varieties.
Yeah, I showed it in order to save on time. The waves broke on the shore with a noise like thunder.
Waves thundered on the shore.
Sure, beautiful. If you will please listen to this 4 lines, it will definitely expand your horizon of information about simile. Love is a song that never ends. Tell me which are simile, which are, just think in your mind, which are simile, which are metaphor. Love is a song that never ends. One simple theme repeating. Like the voice of a heavenly choir, love's sweet music flows on.
Metaphor.
Have you thought in your mind?
Yes.
Now I will give you the explanations. Follow me. The first 2 lines feature a metaphor. Love is directly compared to a song that never ends. Though love and song are seemingly unlike entities, the metaphor connects them such that the comparison makes sense to the audience. Am I right? Are you with me? Or too much
Yes.
talking?
Yes, sir.
Now the second, by linking love to a song that never ends, the metaphor enhances the meaning and the audience understanding of love as a concept. That's why they mentioned it as a theme. Now what about the second 2 lines? The last 2 lines of this lyrics feature a simile. The way love's sweet music flows is compared to the voice of heavenly choir, correct? The previous metaphor has established love as a song, but here these 2 lines feature as a simile, like something. Therefore, the simile advances this meaning by comparing love's music to a choir voice. Rather than stating that love's music is a choir voice and creating another metaphor, the simile in the second 2 lines indicates that love's music is like a choir voice. It's a beautiful way you can improve your, beautify your languages. The simile enhances the imagery and audience understanding of love established by the metaphor with further use of figurative language. The first metaphor which was mentioned in this first 2 lines have been subsequently enhanced of its imagery with a simile in the second 2 lines. Is that not interesting?
Yes.
Expressions?
Definitely.
Good. Now, the next one, now, which all we have learned, the simile and metaphor. The third one is antithesis. This is blending contradictory or opposing words or sentiments in the same sentence. You with me? 2 contradictory things put in one sentence, in one same sentence. The meaning: to err is human, to forgive is divine.
Yeah.
2 contradictory things, erring and forgiving. So this is a, what's the figure of speech here?
Antithesis.
Antithesis. Which are the other 2 figures of speech we learned?
Simile and metaphor.
Simile and metaphor. Now antithesis. 2 contradictory things. Man proposes,
God disposes.
God disposes. What is the figure of speech here?
Antithesis.
No one has responded. Antithesis. Yeah, this is from Mark Antony's speech. Sorry, this is from Julius Caesar, speech by Brutus. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Less
Antithesis.
Love less,
Antithesis.
love more.
Good. Speech is silver, but silence is gold.
Antithesis.
Antithesis. Now, do this exercise. You find out the antithesis here. The land is free, said the young king, and thou art no man's slave.
free and slave. You're not
Free.
answering, I'm answering.
Yeah, free and slave.
In more answered the weaver, the strong make slaves to the weak in peace, the rich make slaves to the poor. We must work to live, and they give us such mean wages that
Live
we
and
die.
die. Live and
Live
die.
and die. Huh. And slave,
War and peace.
land,
War and peace.
free, and the first one is free and slave. The land is free.
Yeah, free and slave.
First one.
War and peace.
War and peace.
Strong and weak.
Rich and poor.
Rich and poor. Beautiful. Beautiful. Antithesis. A flow of antithesis. We toil for them all day long, and they heap up their gold in their coffers. We tread out the grapes, but another drinks the wine. We sow the corn, and our own board is empty. We have chains, though no eyes behold them, and we are slaves, though men call us free. Pick up the antithesis there. Come on.
Keep up gold in their coffers. On board is empty.
No, we toil, we work, but they heap. So toil and heap.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Toil, heap.
Tread and drink.
Tread.
Tread and drink. They drink the wine. We make the wine, but they drink it. Good.
So.
So.
No.
So and empty.
Yes. So and store, because the empty store, it means a store. So sowing and storing. Harvest versus storing. Sorry. We have chains. No eye beholds them. We are slaves. The men call us free.
Slaves.
Slaves and
free.
Chains and slaves
Chains.
and free.
Slaves and
Then eyes not seeing, blind. No eyes beholds them means no eye sees it. So eye and blind.
Blind.
Meant there. So these are antitheses. Correct?
yes.
Now, antithesis in a Malayalam ഉണ്ട് അത് കേൾക്കണോ?
എന്താ?
മലയാളത്തിൽ അതിന് അയ്യോ ഞാൻ മെറ്റഫറിന്റെ മലയാളം പറയാൻ മറന്നുപോയി അല്ലേ? രൂപകമാണ് മലയാളത്തിൽ. രൂപകം വർണ്ണ്യത്തോട് വർണ്ണ്യത്തിന് ഭേദം ചൊല്ല രൂപകം സംസാരമാം സാഗരത്തിൽ അംശം മുങ്ങലാസലേ. സംസാരമാം സാഗരം എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ സംസാരം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇവിടെ ജീവിതമാകുന്ന സാഗരത്തിൽ കടലിൽ സാരമാം സാഗരത്തിൽ അംസാന്തം മുങ്ങല നമുക്ക് പോയി നീന്തി കളിക്കാം. കാമൻ തമ്മിയോട് പറയാ മോളെ നമുക്ക് കടലിൽ പോയി നീന്താം സംസാരമാകുന്ന സാഗരത്തിൽ. അവിടെ അലങ്കാരം രൂപകമാണ്. മെറ്റഫോർ ഇൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ്. സംസാരമാകുന്ന സാഗരം.
Hello.
The answer is frozen.
Yeah. Oh, we lost connection, I think.
Okay, while Tharakan sir joins back, just wanted to highlight to all those people who are attending this session for the first time that we conduct similar special events every second Saturday of the month. This is in addition to our weekly meetings where Advanced Toastmasters of Kerala meets every Monday 6:45 to 8:45 p.m. And there are members from many other Toastmasters club here, including Koilan Toastmasters, Kottayam Toastmasters. So depending on where you are, please join one of these sessions. If you want to be informed about the special events of Advanced Toastmasters, please take my number. I have shared it in the comment chat, and please send me a message and then we'll keep you updated. Tharakan sir, the screen is yours, sir.
Don't think so. He's not back yet.
He's back. He is back.
Oh, yeah, he's in. Yeah.
Sorry, there was a problem with my. Sometimes it happens.
No problem.
No issue, sir.
Okay, let me recall my. Yeah, oxymoron. Can you see the board?
Yep.
Yeah, what is an oxymoron? It's a special antithesis. We learned antithesis is two contradictory things put in one the same sentence. Now, oxymoron is a special antithesis that spells two contradictory qualities in the same thing. The other one is in the same sentence. To err is human, to forgive is divine. But two in the one
particular thing, both these contradictions are put together, it becomes a an oxymoron.
So, Tharakan sir, I think there is a problem on your side. So I would suggest that you keep the video off, because both video as well as the PowerPoint might be eating up the bandwidth.
Just a second, I had to go back. Just a second. I had to stop sharing, go back to my thing, and I mute my video. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We come back. Now, oxymoron is a special antithesis that spells two contradictory qualities in the same thing. As I said, the previous one, antithesis was in the same sentence, two different things. But here it's the same thing. For example, she accepted it as
kind cruelty. Oh.
Yes, kind cruelty. Let me not give
bittersweet memories. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind and cruelty. These are two contradictory things. No?
Yes.
Tharakan sir, another example is Tharakan sir, another example of oxymoron is happily married.
Exactly. I was about to say that last. Either you are married or you are happy. Can't be both. It's a beautiful oxymoron. One oft repeated oxymoron.
Visible blindness.
Happily married.
I think Tharakan sir, your video,
Honor,
I think your bandwidth is
honor
still...
and dishonor.
Yeah.
Can't you see? Are you able to see my sharing?
Yes, sir. Your voice is breaking, but that's all.
Oh, wow. Maybe I'll come closer to. Now, next one. I'll give you some sentences, and you need to pick up, capture the oxymoron in these examples. It's not simple, ordinary like the grammar. You need to put your brain and work it. It went over like a lead balloon. Lead means like the lead pencil, the metal. The balloon cannot be heavy. Like it went over like a
lead balloon.
Lead balloon. Thank God I'm an atheist. Beautiful. Huh?
Yeah.
Atheist is one who doesn't believe in God. So yes, he says, thank God. Atheist. What a beautiful oxymoron. We are not anticipating any emergencies. Emergency is something that comes without anticipation. So anticipating emergencies. Free advice is worth what you paid for it. Is it free anymore if you have paid for it?
No.
So that is the antithesis. Nobody is picking it up. You're wasting time. Come on, you must do that, not me. Next one. I'm not going to say, I told you so.
Not going to say, I told you.
That means he had already told him. He had already told him once, and he's not going to say again. Oxymoron. What's the oxymoron here?
You already asked the question.
Ask
the question.
Yeah.
No, not that. May I ask you a question? Other than a question,
Tell
what
me
are
the
you...
question.
Yeah, you are not going to ask me a question.
Ask you an answer. You can only ask a question. Yeah.
May I ask?
You are not going to ask me an answer. Asking is always a question. But it's a very common statement that you make. Every time somebody, can I ask a question? What are you going to ask?
Yes.
Let's say, can I ask something? Can I ask something? That is the right way. Not can I ask you a question? Or you can say, I have a question.
I have a question.
Filled with
Filled and omissions.
beautiful antithesis of oxymoron. Yeah. What does it actually mean? It's all omissions there. That is my statement. But he puts it. Yeah. There are. It's filled with omissions. Means all over is omission. It's nothing filled up. So it's a beautiful oxymoron. This is the way we have to respond. I'm reminded of Charles Lamb, who always used to come late in the office, and his boss was very angry with Charles Lamb and shouted at
You are always late, irregular. Your discipline is something. And you know, Charles Lamb smilingly, how he responded to his boss. But sir, even though I am coming late, I am early going from the office, no? And the boss himself laughed and embraced him. This is the way with oxymoron and situations like this, you can win the others. This report is filled with omissions. You can't see? Nobody's responding.
Start, shut down.
Start button to shut it down.
Start button.
What an oxymoron, huh? To stop it, you have to start something.
Okay.
Lovely. Spontaneity is good as long as it is.
Spontaneity cannot be controlled.
Yeah, spontaneous thing is naturally what comes up, like a tsunami. It's not controlled. Beautiful.
Deafening silence.
That was a deafening silence.
Silence.
Ah, wow, lovely, no?
Yeah.
Like Matthew Jacob sir said, happily married.
Original
copy.
This is an original copy of the United States Constitution. Original cannot be a copy.
Pretty ugly.
This is lovely. Pretty ugly.
Medium large.
Large.
Doesn't it actually tickle you when you read it?
Yeah, of course.
It's the beauty of that's the beauty of
silence in the room.
Jumbo shrimp.
Jumbo shrimp. Shrimp itself is very small thing.
Very small.
And jumbo, the bigger. Come on. So that is it. Now we come to the last one. Do we have time or we postpone it?
Sir, it is 8:35. What we can do is formally close the meeting so that if anyone wants to leave, they can leave. And then we continue with the
No,
session.
Safir, if it's the last point, I think you said it's the last point, right, Tharakan sir?
This is the last one, yes.
Ah, okay.
Now, why don't we let it complete then? Then we can
Yeah,
close.
let's go ahead.
It may take another 10-15 minutes. Because after that, you have to revise all the 5. The simile, metaphor, antithesis, oxymoron, pun.
No, I think sir, finish this part, then the revision can be done after the formal closing then.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, pun.
So life is a bittersweet is an oxymoron.
Yes, bittersweet.
Pardon me?
Bittersweet. She's asking whether bittersweet is an oxymoron.
Bittersweet is an oxymoron, beautiful oxymoron. Very good, Smith Anayar Jr. Look, that small kid has picked it up. This makes me happy. Lovely thing, lovely one. Yeah, you said something, Safir.
No, I was just asking whether it is Alma Asif.
It was Alma.
Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Alma.
Okay.
Anybody wants to say any more oxymoron? Welcome. Yeah.
Sir, there's one more oxymoron. He is intelligent moron.
He is? Come again? Some audio problem. Okay, let's move into pun. A statement having 2 or more interpretation, double meaning, twin meaning, like an innuendo. A sentence that can be interpreted in 2 different ways. I will ask you a question. The answer to that question is a beautiful pun. It explains in itself. The question is this: is life worth living? The answer is
It depends on the
liver. Liver means 2 things. One is your own liver. If you lose your liver, finished. The other thing is it depends upon the person who lives. If you are interesting one, it is interesting. So you got pun, correct?
Oh, the one who lives. Okay.
On the liver. Another one. An ambassador is an honest man who lies abroad for the good of his country. What is the pun there?
An honest man who lies.
Who lies abroad. The lie could be the pun.
Yes, lie is the word. He is living in that country, and the other meaning is he goes there and tells the lie. Ambassador. It's a man
It's an honest man who lies abroad for the good of his country.
Very old.
You can tune a fish, unless of course you play bass.
Tuna fish.
Yeah, tuna fish.
Yes, of course you play bass.
Bass also fish. Yeah.
Two silkworms had a race. It ended in a tie.
A silk tie.
Tie is the one. Yeah.
Both won equally, or both became a tie. They got tied with each other. Why didn't the cannibal eat the clown? The answer is he was worried he would taste funny. He was worried he would taste funny. The remaining part is additional. Because the cannibal thinks if this funny man, this clown, because he's a clown, he may taste funny. It's fun.
Yeah. The thing is, you can never explain a pun. It has to be felt and understood. Once you try
Exactly, that's what I've been saying in the beginning. Your imagination should work here. Trigger out. If you don't get it, there is no fun in it. But when you get it, the fun is so much. You laugh out like a pun.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, don't spell part backwards. It's a trap. Got it, no?
Oh, part is
yeah. 5 minutes late. That's the beauty of the pun. Why couldn't this bike stand up by itself?
Too tired. Yeah, TWO or TOO tired. Yeah?
Exactly. What's the worst part about space travel?
You have to plan it. Yeah.
You have to plan it earlier. Plan it. I'm not scared of insects, but they really bug me. Hug me. They really hug me.
Tharakan sir, I have a doubt.
See,
most of these examples that you have given is good in a written form, when we can actually see the difference and enjoy. It would be good to have some examples where it can be enjoyed in the spoken form also.
Okay, listen to this. I'm asking you this. What do sea monsters eat? Not fish and chips, but fish and chips. See, in spoken English, you can say like this.
Okay, so I asked the question a couple of minutes early then.
You're 5 minutes early always. I'm pretty sure. Look at this. I'm pretty sure these stairs are up to something. These stairs take me to some place. But I'm going to take steps to prevent it. Steps on the stairs.
Really, really nice.
Really nice. Yeah. I used to be afraid of pole vaulting, but I got over it. Wow, yes. Aisha said it. You already jumped over the pole vault.
Like Matthew got over it last time in his contest speech.
The last one. The librarian got crushed under an avalanche of books. But he only has his
self to blame.
Self.
Himself. His shelf. Or himself.
Yeah.
Yes. What a beautiful statement it is. He is liable for himself. But it was the shelf that fell down. Beautiful, beautiful pun. Why did the clown hold the door open for everyone?
Gesture.
Gesture.
Yeah, it's a gesture. It's also the other gesture. G-E-S-T-U-R-E. Gesture, the action. Kleptomaniac, one who always steals things from a shop. Kleptomaniac didn't understand any of the puns. He took everything literally. Wow. I can see Aisha roaring with laughter, and also Anisha. So the kleptomaniac didn't understand any of the puns. He took everything literally. That's it, friends. You can forget.
Ask for me
Yeah, Alma is back. Yes, saying something.
Okay. What did the buffalo say to his sons? Bison.
My son. Bye-bye, my son. Bye-bye, my son. Bison. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a pun. It has two meanings. Bison.
Okay.
Now, Mercury, ask for me tomorrow, you shall find me a grave man. Tomorrow I may be dead. You may find me in the grave on the earth.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I may be grave.
Okay.
Look, the language is in itself a lovely thing. The communication, it can win your hearts and make you alive, really. If only we know the thing, we expand it to suit the situations. That's
Sir,
it for the time being. My friends, any questions? Do you want a revision from the beginning?
Sir, let's wind up
From
and
the
then
second
do a
part?
revision.
Let's wind up, take a group photo, and
Okay.
then we can continue the question and answer. Safir, let's take a picture.
Yes, sir, can you stop sharing, please, for the time?
Yeah.
And I request all of you to turn on your videos and put up a beautiful smile.
Oh, Rajan Philip is there. Very good. My professor.
Yoser was also present early on, sir.
Sir is there.
Oh, I didn't see him. I didn't see him.
No, he was there, not now. He was there.
Okay, those who are left, please switch on the
Alma
videos.
was the one who answered the question.
Yeah. Alma, if I'm not mistaken, she
my son.
just competed in the Gavel Club contest at Kochi Gavel Club. And she presented beautifully there. Okay, I'm going to take a photograph now. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, done. Nikhil, you can propose the vote of thanks now, and then Joseph can continue as long as he wants, or as long as we want him to.
I think
over to you.
Thank you, Safir, and thanks a lot, Tharakan sir. I think I should give a big hug to you for delivering this.
Distance, Nikhil, distance, safe distance.
Yeah. I think the beauty of language. It's really meant for an advocate or a person who is truly romantic. In our case, so this I think the way he used, and not only here, whenever he comes for our meetings, especially he comes and delivers speeches in table topic, and he comes up with the lines from Shakespeare's poems and all other poems. I always wonder that how the ant will be kind of getting comments from him at the nice time he is having. So it's a wonderful time. This session, I think first time I really enjoyed learning about grammar, and this grammar session, it's really, I think the first time when I was listening to a language session, my left brain has worked. And I think thanks to you, and before we planning for the session, we were having a conversation. You told me that I'm not going to teach anything. I'm going to have an interactive session. I prefer coaching, and the entire session of teaching system is going to be different from my end and others. And it's truly I can understand that the way you have delivered, and I genuinely got this interest to learn this. But I think today's session, if Aisha was not there, we will be in trouble to answer all the questions you have asked. So thank you, Aisha, for joining.
No, Isam was also there to support Aisha.
Everyone. Alma, even Alma.
So I was requesting Matthew Jacob that can you be there to answer all the questions? Do you really want me?
And we didn't get a chance even to attempt Nikhil.
I think not only me. Yes, sir. Yeah, tell me. Not only me.
Thank you, everyone, for.
Yeah, Alma, please.
No, she just said thanks to everyone. I think she's leaving.
Thank you, everyone, for this wonderful linguistic session.
Thank you for your presence. Okay, so
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Tharakan sir, for delivering the session, and for others, those who already have that experience and those who already have this knowledge about language.
Background.
But at the same time, there are a lot of people like me, no interest towards this one, but got some interest to learn further. So for that, thank you a lot. Thank you. And now this is the session which we have got more than 35 people. That shows that people has genuine interest towards grammar and figurative things. So it is nice. Thank you, all of your presence. It's made us, confident that we can continue this special event going forward also. So like Safir already mentioned, we will be conducting this session on second Saturday of every month at 7 o'clock. We will open the meeting room at 6:30. So first half an hour will be a networking session. Post that we will have a knowledge session. And in order to get the updates from Advanced Toastmasters event, you can be part of our Facebook group. And if you can contact Safi's number, he will be add you into the WhatsApp group where we give informations about special events and other events we as Advanced Toastmasters give. So with that, let me thank all the people who have joined, and Tharakan sir, it's thanks a lot, and it's a you're part of our family. But on the formal note, thank you, thanks a lot. With that, I will
thank you all.
Yeah, back this to people who have further questions on this or want to do a further discussion on this particular topic.